Alright, what's up y'all, LakerFan here. As y'all can see by the title of today's video, we are introducing the brand new series of No Money Spent Park series on NBA 2K22 Next Gen. So, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you do, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new to it on the noties, all good stuff, and like always, try to 1,000 likes. Alright, so for the rundown on how the series is going to work, all the basic information and stuff that you guys need to know in terms of the rules that I'm setting for this, me and my two teammates, all three of us together, we're only going to be able to upgrade our builds of VC earned in PvP game modes. So, for instance, 3v3 Pro-Am, Park, maybe even Stage is something we're even thinking about with this series in terms of getting into. But again, the only way we're going to be able to upgrade our builds is with VC earned in PvP game modes, except for the one exception of playing 3 NBA career games and the 4 Chris Brickley workouts to be able to get Accelerator. I really wanted to be able to get this right here to be able to really be functional in terms of Park with Takeover. It's going to be really hard to compete with people who are having Takeover every game, but we're not. So Accelerator was one thing for sure I wanted to be able to have with this. And also the 3 NBA career games are going to be a pretty good starter for us to be able to get us to at least 61 or 62 overall, upgrade a couple key attribute points, and maybe have like 3 or 4 badge points in each category. Another thing, wheel spin will be allowed, but I'll be showing all the rewards that I get. Probably if I go 3 days without uploading on this series right here, I'll just show you all 3 of the wheel spins that I got for the account. And, you know, obviously I want to show you if I get VC or something like that too, where you're going to just be like speculating why random VC popped into the account or something like that. And realistically, I'm not going to get the enhanced wheel rewards anyway for a long time with this account. So it's not likely I'm going to get anything better than maybe like 2,000 VC at the best. And the reason I say on that account, I'm playing on a separate account to show record, win percent, and make sure no extra VC is involved in any of our accounts. So my boy AK is making it on a separate account, Tonic is making it on a separate account. I named it Lakers Burner as well. But again, I really wanted to make sure this was going to be on that separate account so we could show maybe how my guard is shooting from 3, or how the corner spot up is shooting from 3, or what we're averaging in terms of, you know, games and stuff like that. And again, win percent is going to be something that I really want to showcase as well, how we're going to be at a complete disadvantage with these builds, and we'll show that really soon right here. But we're going to be at a complete disadvantage with these builds, and I want to showcase to you guys maybe the growth of our win percent as our builds maybe increase in overall a little bit, or maybe how good we can play out the gate in our first 10 games or something like that. So you guys are already very familiar with badge budgeting, because that's something that 2K has implemented into this, where if we place 1 badge on blinders, that's worth 1 point to your shooting badges. Again, if you put another one into blinders, it's 2 for the silver. If you put another one, it's 3, and then if you put another one, it's 5 for the Hall of Fame. Now what we're going to be doing on top of that is attribute budgeting. So every attribute upgrade that you do for the first time is going to cost 100 VC, and it gets progressively harder to do as you keep on going up. Now when you get to the max rating of 99 on a certain attribute like 3-point rating, it's going to cost you 62,000 VC to max it, going from a 70 to a 99. So just understand, this is going to be a very long progressive thing, or it's going to allow us to actually be at a huge disadvantage, and it's going to be such a challenge for us to win games. Now here's why I don't believe any of us are ever going to achieve a 99 attribute rating, let alone anything above 90, to be completely honest with you. As you're going to see, if we go from a 98 3-pointer to a 99, it's going to cost us 5,100 VC to actually go from just 98 to 99. So understand, we're probably never going to have an attribute rating above 90. Ever in this whole series. And in the early parts of it, we're probably working with literally 83-pointer on our point guard, 80 ball handle on our point guard. And just to show you guys, this is what I was able to afford after 2 NBA games and 3 Chris Brickley workouts. I have 2,300 VC, and I was able to afford to get my block to a 74, my rebound ratings to a 70, and barely touch my speed, driving dunk, all types of stuff like that. It's gonna be ridiculously hilarious to see how this plays out. And then additionally, I played my final NBA game. I've been all the way through everything I possibly can to this point with the rules that I've set, where I can play 3 NBA games, got the 4 Chris Brickley workouts out the way, and here are the attributes that I'm working with when we start our first video. I have 4 finishing badges, 2 playmaking, and 4 defense, and I'm gonna have all these ratings right here. We're hopping in the Park or 3v3 Pro-Am, whatever the PvP situation may be that arises. We're probably gonna start in the Park and even maybe seek out a couple level 40s that we could possibly play against. I want you guys to know too, I am 100% doing this with integrity. I will never ever set up a game or anything like that to actually just do things in an acting sense or do it for content. This is going to be me straight up playing in the Park, playing in 3v3 Pro-Am, never setting anything up. The only thing that I will ever quote-unquote set up in this series is going to be maybe another matchup with someone else if they want to tag along with doing this No Money Spent series and do it with their own squad, and then we can be able to actually play against each other. It'd be so cool if we were able to do that. See two teams of literally 65 overalls going at it with each other. And again, I really do have full confidence in me and my squad that we can get wins with this and show you guys how to really only play with IQ when you have nothing to work with when it comes to your builds or anything like that. at most, we're gonna have out the gate probably like high 70s, maybe barely touching the 80s if they're focusing strictly on three-pointer with our builds. So real quick, I wanted to introduce you guys to the builds you're gonna be seeing in this series. So this is gonna be my boy AK's point guard build right here. He's gonna be on a 5'9" with a 5'10" wingspan, almost no finishing on his build, and also this is really to show you how ridiculous it is when you actually go to these attribute caps of limit. So just to max out the driving dunk costs 21k, but you can see as you get further away from that limit in the cap, it becomes a whole lot cheaper. So what a lot of this came down to, there's so much strategy already with this, how we're gonna have to win with our brain rather than our stick skill in a whole lot of a sense, and really optimize that stick skill to its maximum ability. But either way, a lot of this also came down to kind of labbing out the builds and stuff. So what I understood when doing this was, if I max out the three-pointer on a build, you automatically start at a higher level. You can see you start with 70 three-pointer instead of maybe a situation where your mid-range isn't exactly maxing at 99 and you start with 64. So anyway, I do want to keep this video really short and sweet because I'm not showing any gameplay in this, but I did want to show you guys all three of the builds that we're going to be working with in this series, and on top of that, a more realistic sense of it. So what we would be able to afford with nearly 30,000 VC, which can be pretty accessible after 1 or 2 nights of really grinding 3v3 Pro-Am. You get pretty good VC for winning or losing in there, and I think that's the realistic option that we're going to be going with. We're going to be doing a lot with this series, also showing you guys tactically how to get more VC when you're playing the games as well. And in a sense, I really wanted to put on for the people who don't like to spend money on 2K. Don't get me wrong, I do love 2K as a franchise, but they are wilding a little bit this year when it comes to how much money you have to spend on upgrading your builds. So I wanted to showcase how maybe 3 really good players at the game could actually function with less than 70 overall and really low badge counts and stuff like that, and really grind from the bottom and show you guys how we can actually perform on this type of a build. So with this situation, our point guard could probably reach about a 69 overall in 30,000 VC and have 85 three-pointer and 80s on his ball handling and speed with ball ratings, a pretty manageable defensive set with 86 steal rating and 80 perimeter D, and then 83 speed, 82 acceleration, and 90 stamina. And that stamina is going to be very important too, I must mention, and it's really cheap too, so it makes a whole lot of sense for the guard to actually have it. And for me, this is going to be my build right here. I'm going to be on a true inside 7-foot big, and I'll explain why I'm going with the true inside. Honestly, I talked with my guard about it. I asked him if I should be upgrading my three-pointer on this build because I understand from a guard's perspective, if you have a really lack of ratings and badges and stuff like that, it might be really hard to 3-hunt. You're going to have a hard time getting open with really low handles for days and stamina and ball handle ratings and speed with ball. It might be a real struggle to actually just 3-hunt all day, but we have a very high confidence level in how we can run pick and roll. I feel like just in general, we're both very smart in terms of actually hitting the slips when they're open if they were necessary. And this is the thing that's gonna be really cool about this series, is it's gonna showcase that we can actually play in a very smart way. And I gotta say, it's gonna be really fun to actually do this. So this is my build with under 30,000 VC upgrades. I'm having 65 driving dunk for at least the quick drops off 1, and the more I revise this, I actually do kind of want 70 driving dunk. It's going to be really convenient to get the pro alley-oop packages because we might end up in a situation where we play some people that are really bad, and we can actually kind of badge farm them to an extent where if they're really bad and they're giving up easy alley-oops and stuff like that, we can do a lot of things like that. Curl it off for a lob when the people are playing really bad hedge defense or something like that, or if they're playing sides, I could dive it right down the middle. He can throw me a lob on that too. And long story short, that's going to be my way of getting finishing badges and my point guard's way of getting playmaking badges. So we might need that. So I feel like 70 is going to be pretty convenient and reliable for that. And then as far as the rest of the build goes, I have interior defense high enough to get silver brick wall. I have perimeter defense and steal pretty good. Steal to the point where I can get the bronze interceptor. And then rebounding to the point where I can get the silver rebound chaser. 81 block as well. 63 speed, 60 acceleration, 70 vertical, and 85 stamina. And then this can be Tonic's build right here. He's also going to be making a 7-footer, but what he did is he made his at center. I made mine at power forward so I can line up at the 2 spot. I'm going to have smaller people on me in the pick and roll offense. The bigs are going to be on him in the corner and feel more reliable in terms of needing to drop off the corner for those 3-pointers and stuff like that, where if I'm on the pick and roll, the big man gets really aggressive and tries to drop off that corner a lot. So our point guard might be able to dot Tonic in the corner. I might be able to actually hit him in the corner myself if I get in the pick and roll. And then if I'm grabbing offensive rebounds on smaller people at the 2, I'm also gonna be able to hit him on those 3s most likely, because again, that big man's really gonna want to drop off the corner. So we have him as a shooting big at a 7-footer. He has 73-pointer. Again, it gets really expensive to do anything more than that. And then we have around 60s to 70s in terms of the defensive attribute ratings. Again, we want him with the 60 steal rating. So this is what it's going to cost us to be able to do within 30,000 VC. And again, he's going to have like 63 speed, 66 vertical, 80 stamina. This is what we're looking at. So anyway, as we're wrapping things up here, I'm just going to talk over some clips that I recorded in terms of me showing you guys what I was doing or what the wheel spin was looking like for my first attempt. So I'm going to go ahead and go straight to the NBA. I wanted to skip the college. I feel like that was already way too unrealistic in terms of me trying to actually get 5 wins in a row or 4 wins in a row, whenever it was, as a 60 overall. And the VC counts and badge progress were just going to be awful to the point where it was kind of just a waste of time. So realistically, we're never going to see our builds with having max badge points in the first place anyway. You can see on the first wheel spin that I got double XP and I didn't even play because my boys weren't on to play yet. And I feel like that was just going to be rushing it anyway. So my first wheel spin was literally double XP. That's pretty trash. Another thing that's going to be stressed very heavily is doing our weekly workouts and stuff like that too, where we are lacking stamina to an extent a lot, and it's going to be very convenient to have that extra stamina bar, and this is going to be something that we 100% want to put in to the builds and make sure that we're actually doing. I also wanted to show all the progress that I got from all 3 of the mycareer games that I played. So I played all 3 of them on Hall of Fame and played against some pretty decent opponent strength. In the first one, I played the Pelicans and got the 1.25 multiplier. In my second one, I played against the Nets and got the 1.5 multiplier. And as you can see right here, badge progress. I got 2.5k toward finishing, 3.6 toward playmaking, and 7.6 toward defense. In the next game that I played against the Nets, I wasn't able to manage to win, but either way, I still got some pretty good badge progress. And again, I wasn't getting a lot of minutes in these games, but as you can see, 4.8k toward the finishing, 3.6 to the playmaking, and 3.9 to the defense. I was managing to get through these badge points a little bit, and I was actually able to get 4, 4, and 2 on my build. And as you can see right here, the VC 823 goes a long way toward this. I promise you guys, it really means a lot toward this build. And this game right here was by far my best one, the third and final mycareer game that I played. 52 points, 21 rebounds, 11 assists, 5 blocks on 81 field goal percentage with a 61 overall. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the opponent's strength toward the modifier in terms of getting that 1.5 times multiplier. But either way, this was still a great game. 41,000 my points. Not that it matters. The my points literally don't mean anything because I'm never going to achieve my build's maximum attribute cap rating unless this video series pops off like crazy on YouTube. If you guys show a lot of love to the series, don't get me wrong, we will be playing on these builds like night in and night out. So if you guys support this series a lot, we're going to be doing a ton of it. So make sure you drop a like, a comment, subscription if you're new, all types of stuff like that. If you want to check out more of this, feel free to. I am looking forward to it a ton. We're going to have a playlist on the channel as well. You can see in this one, 1.3k VC almost in this game. So this is why I didn't want to go overboard with it. I didn't want to play too many mycareer games. I was thinking at first I wanted to play 5, but it started to become a little bit ridiculous how able I was actually to get my build up in terms of the badge progress and the attribute ratings. You can see I have 4 finishing, 2 playmaking, and 4 defense in just 3 mycareer games that I played in the Chris Brickley workouts. Additionally, we wanted the Mama mentality and the Takeover perks for Accelerator as well. So that's why we had to play those 3 mycareer games. It was going to be convenient and it was just necessary for us to do it like this. So Accelerator, stuff blocks, see the future. I'm probably rolling with see the future when it comes to all the park games and stuff. I just had the rim takes on for the mycareer, but either way, having the Mama mentality and the Takeover perks were going to be super convenient. And actually, I want to talk about my big man's Takeover options. So this build right here is going to be the one that Tonic's going to be on. The one who is the shooting big man. He's at the 3 spot. I'm going to be at the 2 spot. So he's going to be able to have sharp takeover and playmaker takeover, still have the ability to have rim and glass. It's going to be a really cool build. For him to be able to have the playmaker takeover is going to be really cool too, where if he wants to run team takeover boost to help me and my point guard get our takeover more quickly, it's all going to be something that's really cool to have the option for. Now, the last thing that I wanted to talk about is the fact that we're making these builds on our alternative accounts. And a lot of people out there, I'm sure there's gonna be someone in the comments that's gonna be like, oh, you're so worried about your win percentage that you have to make an alternate account to do this series. Well, in the first place, like I said, I wanna monitor the VC. I wanna make sure that we can't spend the VC that we make from our other players or just the main builds that we have or playing Pro-Am, Stage, whatever the case may be, and be able to spend it on those builds. In this situation, we're gonna be able to track the VC and make sure that we're only spending what we earn in this. And again, we're not spending anything in terms of actual money or anything like that. And on top of that too, we have Rebirth unlocked on our main accounts. So obviously that would allow us to have 30 extra badge points off rip, which is just not realistic in terms of trying to start the game from just buying the game and playing it. Simple as that. And what's going to be so special about this series, whether it's inspiration in terms of maybe some other people trying to do this on their own, I'm not going to lie to you guys, it's going to be very hard for you as a novice player to be doing this right here, so I wouldn't recommend it. But one thing I will say is too, at the end of the day, if it's all about the challenge and actually just having fun, we're going to be having fun losing games. I'll put it like that. And that's something that we probably wouldn't feel the same way about if we're doing on our main builds. The expectations for us and our winning is completely lowered. And for someone out there as well, if all you're doing is trying to hop on the game and have some fun, and maybe this is a challenge that you want to try too if you're also a good player, I recommend you guys do it as well. I feel like it's almost spiritually enlightening to just think about the fact that we're not going to care if we lose the games or anything like that. And there's by no means going to be any super high expectations for us to win every game we're playing or anything like that. So anyway, unfortunately, that's all for the video. I wish I did have some gameplay to show you guys with this series, but I wanted to have an introduction video and enlighten you guys on the fact that we are going to be doing this, and I'm really looking forward to actually starting this series. And anybody that wants to tag along with this on YouTube, feel free to. If you're like bigger creators out there and you want to do this as well, if you could shout out my channel, I'd really appreciate that, or just know where the title and the actual concept of it came from. But the more people that want to do this, the cooler I think it is. And honestly, I'm just really looking forward to seeing how this does perform on YouTube as well. I'm really looking forward to just the fact that it's going to be some really nice content that I can add into the fact that we're already doing things. I'm still planning to play Pro-Am and all types of stuff like that, maybe even the stage on our main builds and stuff like that too. And this is going to be a real good indication of skill, I feel like. And it's really going to showcase how all three of us can play together really well on the park, and I'm really looking forward to it. So anyway, that's all for the video. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on the noties, all that good stuff. And like always, strive to 1,000 likes. And if you made it to the end of the video, put 60 in the comments to show your support to me all the way through, or put the money sign. Either way, whatever you want to show your support, I'd really appreciate it. And hey, like I said, if you guys can really show up and support this series early on, I would appreciate it like nothing else, because it's gonna be super important to be able to see some support on this series early on, help this hit the recommended. I'm really hoping to get this series and this concept trending and get other people on board with this as well. So anyway, if you guys do appreciate what we're going to be bringing to the content, all I ask is that you turn on the notifications, sub, all types of stuff like that, and just stay tuned for this. Click on the videos when you see them pop up, all types of stuff like that. So anyway, that's all for the vid. Hope y'all enjoyed. Take it easy, man. Peace.